Picture this. You're walking through the turnstiles at the Magic Kingdom. You enter under a stone archway into Main Street, USA. Then, at the end of the road, you see it. Cinderella Castle. One of the most recognizable and iconic structures ever built. It evokes wonder for those visiting the park for the first time, and nostalgia for those who have been there before. When you pass by it on your way to Tomorrowland, or through it on your way to Fantasyland, you might wonder how it was built, or how many changes it went through over the years. Well, your days of wondering have come to an end, as I am here to satisfy those curiosities. We'll be discussing how the castle came to be, what inspired it, who made it happen, and all the changes it's gone through over the years. So dig your nearest pumpkin out of the ground and get your magic wand ready as we discuss the history of Cinderella Castle. Before we talk about the castle, let's talk about the castle. When Disneyland opened, Sleeping Beauty Castle sat at the end of Main Street. It was designed by artist Herb Ryman. It was meant to be just a generic castle until it was connected to their upcoming animated film Sleeping Beauty, because Walt wanted some connections between the parks and his film and television projects. The more things change. And of course, the castle became synonymous with the park. When the time came to build the Magic Kingdom, they wanted the castle to be bigger and better. The castle would be home to Cinderella instead. I couldn't find a definitive reason why, but I imagine it had something to do with Sleeping Beauty nearly bankrupting the studio. Cinderella was a proven hit, so it was picked instead. Ryman was put in charge of designing this one as well. Inspiration came from a few places. The castle from the film, a lot of French castles like the Chateau d'Ussé, the Chateau de Cournoisier, and Versailles, the Neuschwanstein Castle in Germany, the Mosna Castle in Poland, the Church of Our Lady Before Teen in the Czech Republic, and even parts of Notre Dame. And all my European viewers can have fun correcting those pronunciations in the comments. When Cinderella Castle was complete, it would be over 100 feet taller than Sleeping Beauty Castle, so that guests could see it from the Seven Seas Lagoon, to the detriment of the sight lines. It was the biggest of the Disney castles until the Enchanted Storybook Castle in Shanghai opened. It reaches 189 feet tall, not counting the base and the moat. It looks a lot bigger because of the use of forced perspective. The windows and bricks look smaller the higher up it goes. Bricks is only a figure of speech because Cinderella Castle was not built by bricks. It was made out of concrete and steel, only carved to look like brickwork. There are 23 towers, a working clock, and a moat. And no part of the castle can be removed in the event of a hurricane. It was simply built to withstand the winds. Though, like so many things, it is not what is outside, but what is inside that counts. And Cinderella Castle has many interesting things in its interior. As you walk through the castle archway into Fantasyland, you'll see mosaics depicting scenes from Cinderella, made up of over 300,000 pieces of glass. These were designed by artist Dorothy Redmond, who did a lot of interior design work and architectural work at Disneyland. The characters were redesigned for a more medieval look. The tiling was done by a team of 6 people, led by famous mosaicist Hans Schreif, who was also a Nazi. I don't really know what I can say to that, and I'm not qualified enough to unpack all of that, but yeah. The most interesting of these pieces is the second to last one, where Cinderella is trying on the slipper. Look closely at the stepsisters. They're colored differently. Drusilla's face is a green color, looking on with envy. Anastasia's face is a red color, looking on in anger. Very simple color motif, and it works. Though, the most interesting figures are the Duke and the Coachman. As you can see, they do not look like the characters from the film. That's because they are modeled by 2 real-life gentlemen. The Coachman was modeled after Herb Ryman, and the Duke was modeled after John Hinch, who, among so much else, helped with the plans of Walt Disney World. You see that scroll he has in his hands? Those are the plans. Cinderella Castle also has small figures of Cinderella's animal friends, like the birds and the mice. Those were sculpted by Blaine Gibson, who designed the partner statue and many of the animatronics in various attractions. Imagineers had 2 ideas of what to put inside of the castle to utilize the space better. One of them was a restaurant. That came to be as Cinderella's Royal Table, a character dinner with the Disney princesses. It costs like $1 million to eat there, reservations are hard to come by, and I hear the food is only okay. But you're there for the experience more than the food. The other idea was an apartment for Walt and his family, an idea pulled from Disneyland, as Walt had a couple of apartments on property. Of course, he passed away before it was built, and the place in the castle was left empty. It wasn't until 2007 that it was taken advantage of. It was turned into living quarters, becoming the Cinderella Castle Suite. A one-night stay here was a prize given to guests during the Year of a Million Dreams celebration. The suite is still there, but it hasn't been available for booking in a while. The King's Gallery gift shop was once housed there as well, right inside of Fantasyland. Currently, the space is home to the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, where guests can be transformed into princesses by the fairy godmothers in training, or pirates for those who prefer them. And of course, one can't talk about Cinderella Castle without mentioning the shows that perform on the castle stage. These have been playing in the park since the 1980s, starring your favorite Disney characters. The most recent show is Mickey's Royal Friendship Fair, but there have been many others before, and will probably be many more afterwards. And that doesn't even count the special seasonal shows and projections during the fireworks. No matter what time of year or where you go, there's always something interesting going on with the castle. At least usually. In January of 2017, the Magic Kingdom's daily opening ceremony was moved to Cinderella Castle. One of the magic makers in the castle welcomed guests to the parks, and brought out some Disney characters on stage to help start the brand new day. It's a good way to kick off the day and get people excited about being at the Magic Kingdom. Also, it's so much nicer to not be crowded behind the turnstiles. And while we're talking about changes, let's get into how Cinderella Castle has evolved over the years. The castle has not gone through many permanent changes, but every once in a while, someone gets the idea to change up the exterior to celebrate something. And well, I'll just let the transformations speak for themselves. In 1996, I came into this world and Walt Disney World reached its 25th anniversary. To help commemorate these monumental events, I'm sure you'll agree they're both equally important, they turned Cinderella Castle into a birthday cake. If you look at concept art, it isn't too bad, but in practice, oh boy, people hated it. It looked like a bouncy castle. Give it credit, it is at least memorable. It certainly earned its meme status. On November 16, 2004, Stitch's Great Escape opened in Tomorrowland. For better or for worse. For one day only, the castle was TP'd and covered in graffiti. Because Stitch was popular with boys, and boys like being destructive and causing havoc, so Stitch had to do all of that too. Even to the most recognizable icon that some people only ever get to see once. The naughties were a weird time for Disney, let's just leave it at that. In 2005, to celebrate Disneyland's 50th anniversary, the castle was decked out with gold trimmings. On the castle's face, there was a stained glass painting that changed to all the different parks around the world. I actually remember seeing this in person and I thought it was really neat. It's just something to get you excited about the other parks. Ones that you might not have known existed otherwise. In 2010, Disney hosted a Pirates and Princess party at the Magic Kingdom. During the opening ceremony, Captain Hook and his crew did something very interesting to the castle. They blew it up. Okay, of course they didn't really blow it up, but the fireworks sure made it look like that. And a pirate flag was unfurled on the remains. At least it made for a memorable show. Every Christmas season, the castle is covered in twinkly lights at night, making it appear like it's covered in frost and ice. Fairy Godmother used to do this, but now that we have a frost magic user in the Disney family, Elsa's taken over the duties. For a good chunk of the year, the castle is going to have these lights hanging off of them, but luckily they aren't too noticeable during the day. It was announced that Cinderella Castle would be receiving another revamp to celebrate Cinderella's 70th anniversary, and likely for Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary the following year. As of recording, these decorations can still be seen, and they look really nice in my opinion. I imagine they painted them so vividly because the Orlando sun will wash out the colors eventually, and when they fade we'll get a nice pastel-y castle. Definitely a good way to get ready for the 50th anniversary. Not like we'll get to celebrate it. Cinderella Castle is simply iconic. There's no better way to describe it. It's just one of those images that everybody knows and everyone can immediately identify. It's also easy to take for granted, given that it's always there. So, next time you find yourself at the Magic Kingdom, take a minute or two to look at the castle. Walk around the exterior, look at the mosaics, and just take everything in. And that concludes the video. Now I'll pass the question off to you. What was your favorite phase of Cinderella Castle? Do you have any fun memories involving it? Whatever you're thinking, let me know down in the comments. But that's all the time I've got for today. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care. Hey, anybody watching this video from the future, did you guys ever get to celebrate the 50th anniversary? I would like to know. As of recording, we're still stuck in the big pandemic.